Costa Mesa, escucha.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Thomas Sines. I am President and General Counsel of MALDEF, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund. We are here this morning in front of Costa Mesa City Hall to announce the filing of a federal lawsuit against the city of Costa Mesa on behalf of day laborers seeking work in this city. The name of the lawsuit is Asociación de Jornaleros de Costa Mesa versus City of Costa Mesa. It is being filed this morning in federal court. It is a challenge under the First Amendment free speech protections against the Costa Mesa ordinance that bars day laborers and others from soliciting employment, business, or contributions from sidewalks and streets in Costa Mesa. This is not a new challenge. In fact, for MALDEF, this is the 7th jurisdiction in California with a similar ordinance that we have challenged in court. The previous 6 challenges have resulted through settlement or court order in significant changes or repeal of the ordinances that restrict the rights of day laborers. Costa Mesa has a very, very hard hurdle to get over in light of that prior precedent. Free speech protections belong to everyone. A day laborer has the right, the same right as a corporation employing thousands of people to express himself or herself freely on our streets and sidewalks. That is the basis of this lawsuit. The Costa Mesa ordinance singles out solicitation, and specifically day laborer solicitation, for restriction, while permitting others, political canvassers, religious exhorters, performers, street performers, they are allowed to engage in free speech conduct on the streets of and sidewalks of Costa Mesa, while day laborers are prohibited. That is a violation of the First Amendment, singling out day laborers in that way. The lawsuit seeks an injunction from the federal court barring Costa Mesa from continuing to enforce its ordinance that restricts the rights of day laborers. Our next speaker this morning is a staff attorney in the Orange County office of the ACLU of Southern California, Belinda Escobosa-Helzer.
Good morning, my name is Belinda Escobosa-Helzer. I'm a staff attorney at the Orange County office of the ACLU Foundation of Southern California. In 2007, the ACLU challenged a similar ordinance in the city of Lake Forest, which the city quickly repealed after we filed our complaint. This litigation is a continuation of our commitment to free speech and the right of all individuals, including day laborers, to exercise their free speech rights. The right of free speech and expression is a cherished right, guaranteed by the First Amendment to our United States Constitution. It has been fought for and passed down over many generations. It is zealously protected when exercised on public sidewalks and other public places, and it protects everyone living in this nation. Day laborers who gather on the public sidewalks to express their need and availability to work exercise the same right as anyone else. Our core constitutional principles of equality and freedom demand that a day laborer enjoy the same right to free expression as a political, activist, or a member of a charitable group. Day laborers have the fundamental right to stand on a sidewalk and announce their desire to work, just as a political activist has the right to hold a sign and state his opposition to government policies. The city's illegal ordinance not only discriminates against day laborers, however, but it also prohibits small businesses from someone wearing a sandwich board to announce a new lunch special, or school children who hold car wash signs to raise funds for their school.
Now I'd like to introduce our partner in this endeavor, the coordinator of the National Day Labor Organizing Network, Pablo Alvarado.
These are the men that keep the hens, these are the hens that you saw right now that keep the gardens green and the houses painted in this city. In this country, there are about 700 locations where men gather every day to solicit employment. There are 65 day labor centers in the country. This city had a day labor center that they decided to shut down a few years ago. And the reason why they decided to do that was because they wanted to listen and obey, essentially, the orders of anti-immigrant organizations. This is where Jim Gilchrist began his campaign of hatred against immigrants. The reason why they passed this ordinance is not necessarily because these are, the men that you see here are day laborers, but because they're immigrants. And this is a way of attacking immigrants in this city. And we're not going to stand by the sidelines and say nothing. That's why we are challenging today this city in federal court. And that day laborers decided that they want to do it and that they are not fearful of anything. Estamos listos para la lucha, ¿verdad? ¡Sí! Y que vivan los trabajadores. ¡Que vivan!
Now we will hear from Gabriela Trujillo from Colectivo Tonancin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gabriela Trujillo. I am a Costa Mesa resident and member of the Tonancin Collective. You may see these day laborers like these 12 men, as a public nuisance or eyesores. But what I see, what we all see, are 12 human beings who need to work in order to provide food, clothes, and shelter for themselves and for their families. These men, whom Costa Mesa is denying the right to solicit work, are the breadwinners in their homes. Without them, their families fall apart. We need to think about the children that get left behind and the single mothers who overnight have to figure out how they're going to pay rent and how they're going to feed their children. When I see day laborers, I also see the fathers of my students trying to earn enough money to buy them school uniforms and school supplies. You see, I am also a school teacher who has heard the personal stories of far too many children who have been left behind. I have seen the detrimental effects that this unjust ordinance has had on their educational and personal growth, and that needs to be a concern for all of us. I don't want any more students to walk into my classroom with tears in their eyes saying, "My dad got deported," or "We're getting kicked out of our home," or even, "I didn't have any breakfast this morning. We don't have any food." How is this conducive to learning? How is this building a healthy community in Costa Mesa? I want to share a letter written by my 13-year-old student. It reads, "Miss Trujillo, my dad got deported today. When I got home, I saw my mom crying. I asked her what was wrong, and she said, 'Your dad got sent to Mexico.' I felt so sad because I thought, how are we going to pay the rent? I wanted to cry because I felt scared that they were going to come back for my mom and I would stay alone. We need help to pay the rent. We are all scared because we don't want to live in the streets like homeless. We are good people. Why do we get sent to Mexico if we are just looking for work?" With this, we want everyone to understand that this ordinance, which was written and passed by our city council members, is not just hurting day laborers who congregate at the 7-Eleven, U-Haul, or anywhere in Costa Mesa. It's hurting the entire community. This is a problem we can no longer ignore. Repeal the ordinance now and let them work. Stop the harassment, stop the discrimination, and stop the injustice. Thank you.
As you have heard this morning, there is no more important or cherished right than the right to seek honest work. And when cities like Costa Mesa seek to restrict that right by enacting ordinances that restrict free speech rights, they act unconstitutionally. And we are in federal court beginning this morning to prevent Costa Mesa from continuing to violate this right.
Costa Mesa!